Let me ask you something. How many times a day do you feed your dog? If you said twice a day, you're like most responsible dog owners. You're doing your best. You care. You're trying. But here's what nobody tells you. For some dogs, that answer could be slowly stealing years from their life, and you'd never even know it. Your dog can't tell you when they're hungry at the wrong times. They can't explain that their stomach hurts because meals are too far apart. They can't warn you that one large meal is silently putting them at risk for something deadly. All they can do is trust you. Trust that you'll figure it out. Trust that you'll give them what they need when they need it. And the heartbreaking truth, most of us get it wrong. Not because we don't care, but because we don't know. Today, that changes. Because I'm going to walk you through exactly how to feed your dog from the day they're born to their final years, so they can live the longest, healthiest, happiest life possible. But first, if you love your dog enough to get this right, if you want to stop guessing and start knowing, subscribe right now. Because your dog's health isn't something you should gamble with. And if you won't subscribe, tell me why in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. Your dog is trusting you to learn this. Don't let them down. Let's start at the very beginning. Those first 8 weeks of life. And I need you to hear this clearly, because this is where so many well-meaning people make a devastating mistake. Do not feed a puppy anything. Not dog food, not treats, nothing, before 8 weeks of age. I know that sounds extreme. Maybe you're thinking, but what if the mother isn't around? What if the puppy seems hungry? I understand. The instinct to help is beautiful. But here's what's really happening inside that tiny body in those first 2 months. A puppy's digestive system is still forming. Their immune system is fragile, learning how to fight, how to protect, how to survive. Mother's milk isn't just food, it's medicine. It's armor. It's a blueprint for their entire immune system. Every time they nurse, they're receiving antibodies that will protect them for the rest of their lives. When you separate a puppy from their mother too early, or worse, try to replace her milk with solid food, you're not just feeding them differently, you're interrupting something sacred. You're weakening the foundation of their health. And the consequences can be devastating. I once heard about a family who adopted a 5-week-old puppy. They thought they were rescuing it, giving it a better life. They fed it the best puppy food money could buy. But within 2 weeks, that puppy was sick. Constant diarrhea, vomiting, weak immune system. It survived, but it struggled with digestive issues for years. All because it was taken too soon. The family loved that dog. They did everything they could. But love isn't always enough. Sometimes we need knowledge. So when can you start introducing food? And how do you do it without causing harm? Let me show you. Between 2 and 3 months, everything changes. Your puppy is ready to explore solid food. Their little digestive system is working overtime, like a tiny machine that never stops. But here's the problem most people don't see coming. They start feeding solid food, but they only feed twice a day, like an adult dog. And that's where the danger begins. Imagine a newborn baby. Now imagine feeding that baby only twice a day. Breakfast, dinner. That's it. You'd never do that, right? Because you know their tiny stomach can't hold enough food to sustain them for 12 hours. The exact same thing applies to puppies at this age. They need 4 to 5 small meals a day. Not because they're greedy, because their stomachs are the size of a walnut, and they're growing so fast their bodies are burning energy like wildfire. When you skip meals, when you feed too little, too late, your puppy's blood sugar crashes. It's called hypoglycemia. And the symptoms? They're terrifying. Trembling, weakness, vomiting, seizures. In severe cases, puppies can collapse. They can faint. They can die. I remember reading about a 9-week-old poodle who collapsed because his owner forgot to feed him one meal. Just one. The owner was busy. It was an accident. They never meant for it to happen. But by the time they noticed, the puppy was unconscious. He survived, barely. But that moment changed everything for that family because they realized something most dog owners never think about. Our dogs are completely dependent on us. For everything. And when we forget, they suffer. If that story made your heart drop, if you're realizing how much your puppy depends on you getting this right, then subscribe. Because every video we make is about protecting dogs from the mistakes we don't even know we're making. Don't skip this. Your puppy can't afford for you to forget. So you've made it through those critical first months. Your puppy is eating solid food. They're growing. They're thriving. But now comes the next transition. BY month 3. Your puppy's stomach is stronger. They've adapted to solid food. Their digestion is more efficient. This is when you start reducing meals from 4 or 5 down to 3. But here's the key. You do it slowly. Not all at once. Because here's what happens when you rush it. Your puppy's body has adjusted to a rhythm. Small meals, frequent energy, constant fuel. When you suddenly cut back too fast, their stomach doesn't know what to do. They get bloated. They lose their appetite. Their digestion gets confused. Some puppies start refusing food altogether. Not because they're picky, but because their body is overwhelmed. The solution? 3 equal meals. Morning, midday, evening. Consistent timing. Same portions. Predictable routine. And here's something most people never realize. Regular meal times don't just regulate digestion. They regulate mood. When your puppy knows when food is coming, their stress hormones stabilize. They feel secure, safe, taken care of. But when meals are random, when you feed them whenever you remember, their body stays in a low-level state of anxiety. When will I eat next? Will there be enough? It might sound dramatic, but for a puppy, food isn't just fuel, it's reassurance, it's proof that you're there for them. 6 months. Your dog's growth starts to slow down. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The switch to 2 meals a day, morning and evening, just like an adult. Sounds simple, right? It's not, because this is where the most problems happen. The transition from 3 meals to 2 isn't just about removing 1 meal, it's about increasing portion sizes, adjusting timing, staying consistent, and most importantly, it's about understanding why this matters. Regular meals lower cortisol, your dog's stress hormone. When they know food is coming at the same time every day, they relax. Their body learns to trust the routine. But when meals are chaotic, when you feed both meals at night because you got home late, you're creating instability. I know life gets busy. I know you're doing your best. But your dog doesn't understand busy. They don't know you had a long day at work or got stuck in traffic. All they know is, it's time to eat. Where's my food? And when it doesn't come, their stress rises. So here's what I want you to do. Split it up. Light breakfast. Full dinner. Even if you're rushing out the door in the morning, take 2 minutes to give them something. Because those 2 minutes, they're everything to your dog. If you're starting to see feeding as more than just filling a bowl, if you're realizing it's about trust, routine, and love, then don't leave without subscribing. Because the dogs who have owners who truly understand them, they're the ones who thrive. Your dog deserves that. Okay, here's the question everyone wants answered. Once my dog is fully grown, is 1 meal a day enough? The answer, it depends. But if your dog is a deep-chested breed, Golden Retrievers, Rottweilers, Great Danes, German Shepherds, the answer is absolutely not. And here's why. Point 1, large meal a day stretches the stomach. And for big dogs with deep chests, that creates the perfect storm for something called bloat. Or in medical terms, gastric torsion. It's when the stomach fills with gas, twists on itself, and cuts off blood flow. Within hours, it can be fatal. And the scariest part? It happens fast. Point 1 minute, your dog seems fine. The next, they're collapsing. I'll never forget the story of a Great Dane named Max. His owner fed him once a day. A big meal at night. Point 1 evening, Max seemed restless after eating, pacing, whining. His owner thought he just needed to go outside. But within 30 minutes, Max collapsed. They rushed him to the emergency vet. He didn't make it. The vet said if they'd fed him 2 smaller meals instead of 1 large one, he might still be alive. that family was devastated. They had no idea that something as simple as meal timing could be life or death, so please. If you have a large or deep-chested dog, split their meals. Two smaller portions are always safer than one large one. But what about when your dog gets older? As your dog ages, everything slows down. Their digestion, their metabolism, their energy, and just like elderly humans, they need special care. Senior dogs often develop liver or kidney issues, arthritis, sometimes even dementia. Their stomachs can't handle large meals anymore. That's why dividing food into 3 or 4 smaller meals throughout the day helps with easier digestion, medication, absorption, nausea prevention, blood sugar regulation. Research shows that senior dogs fed multiple small meals live longer. They experience less stress, less discomfort, more stability, and here's something beautiful. Repeating the same meal routine every day gives older dogs a sense of security, especially dogs with anxiety or cognitive decline. When everything else in their world is changing, their vision, their hearing, their strength, meal times become an anchor, a familiar rhythm they can count on. If your senior dog starts eating less, moving slower, or avoiding their bowl, don't just blame old age. Reevaluate how and when you're feeding them. Sometimes, a simple change in schedule can give them months, even years of better quality life. If you have a senior dog right now, if you're watching them slow down and you just want to give them the best life possible in their final years, subscribe, because we're going to keep showing you exactly how to care for them every step of the way. They gave you their whole life. Give them your attention. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about one more thing. Dogs who eat too fast, you know the ones. Bowl down. Food gone in 10 seconds flat. It might look funny. Maybe you even laugh. But here's what's really happening. Fast eating isn't just bad manners, it's often a sign of stress. Or it's a leftover instinct from pack life. When food competition was fierce and you had to eat fast or starve. When dogs gulp their food without chewing, they swallow air. That air can cause bloating, choking, even vomiting. And in extreme cases, it can trigger the same deadly bloat we talked about earlier. So how do you help them slow down? Try slow feeder bowls, hiding food in towels or toys, scattering kibble on a clean floor, so they have to hunt. These aren't just tricks, they're enrichment. They turn mealtime into a mental workout. And studies show that dogs who work for their food experience less anxiety, sometimes within just 2 weeks. So don't just fill a bowl and walk away. Turn feeding into a joyful daily ritual. If this video has opened your eyes to how much feeding actually matters, if you're realizing it's not just about nutrition, but about trust, safety, and love,